Let's call it the COVID Chronicles. Or Corona Chronicles? I'm sorry, I don't mean to make light of this. It's just, it took isolation for me to actually get back on reviewing movies. I'm so fucking lazy. Anyway, I got some catching up to do. Portrait of a Lady... Zara. She's trapped in here with me. Let's talk about this epic romance, this epic love story. Now, obviously, I saw this movie before the whole quarantine shutdown of every movie theater and our jobs happened earlier this week, and I just didn't get around to filming anything, but I wrote a review, and so I'm just going to film that review because I have nothing original to say anymore. Portrait of a Lady on Fire has the kind of slow-moving brilliance you don't see in movies anymore. A simple story told heavily in silence and voyeuristic looks, yet features two natural talents, and is brought to real life by the direction of Celine Sciamma. I knew it was epic the first time we see Eloise, cloaked in a black and blue caped dress, avoiding gaze. This is one of the best doomed romances you'll ever see. I think, still, a lot of people might be turned off from it because of its pacing. But to me, the framing and performances kept me even more captivated. There wasn't a better way this story was gonna be told. About a painter in 18th century France hired to complete a portrait of a woman who is to be wed off to a nobleman in Milan. Doesn't sound like much of a movie, does it? The painter is Marianne, who has been tasked with this by the mother of the woman who is to be wed. The movie gives us little breadcrumbs of information slowly after she has arrived. Nothing is told to you in some expositional vomit. You're going to have to be patient with this one. Her daughter is Eloise, who does not want to be sent off to wed a man she has not met. So she has refused to let her face be seen by anyone who will paint it. A previous painter had tried, who was a man, but she did not allow it. The aftermath of this is shown as a side painting with her in a green dress, with no face drawn. Hence why she is epically covered in that caped gown when Marianne first sees her. But her mother has told her that Marianne is just a companion for her to take walks outside, and nothing more. Eloise has no idea that Marianne paints. She thinks the best chance for the painting is that Marianne studies her face while on those walks, and paints her in secret. And that's where I'll stop talking about the story, because this is more about how it's told. So much of it is in the looking at Eloise, as Marianne watches her face closely. Eloise takes her observant looks as something else. A lot of the movie is Marianne looking at Eloise, and Eloise at Marianne, and sometimes we realize it's just us looking at the two of them. It is unbelievably fascinating, intimate like I've never seen before. The patient and calm camera that dares us to love with the two of them. Marianne, whose unintruding good nature pair as the main female gaze, and Eloise, whose stronger facial features lend her as the perfect subject to be looked at against her will. This movie is incredible at what it does. There isn't a phony moment in it. It didn't even register with me that this lesbian tale had such a rush of forbidden love, because the movie isn't stupid enough to spout that. Yes, it's a feminist piece, but again, just amazingly subtle like The Witch and Little Women. These are great movies first because they tell great stories and don't beat you over the head with their themes. I couldn't look away from the screen for this one either. The camera moves only along with the actors, and otherwise stays planted as a witness to their growing relationship. You fucking see this shit? She's in my seat again. In my fucking chair. The moment I got up, she jumped up on it. I wanted a dog. Alright, get out of my seat, Zara. Get out. The costumes are all perfect and fitting. Get it? Fitting? Marianne has colors and outfits like a painter of her time would. Eloise takes to stronger colors that a resistant person like her would. It just makes perfect sense. And the two lead actors who leave their indelible presence on this. Naomi Merlant as Marianne, who creepily resembles Emma Watson, who is elegant and carries herself like an artist would, and Adele Haenel as Eloise, whose outspoken face and looks make her the perfect choice. The director wrote the part with her in mind. The two of them can convey an infinity of emotions with their gazes. They had to for the movie, but in a lesser film it wouldn't work. Their exchanged glances, embarrassed hidden feelings, and reveals in each other's character are as real as you'll ever see on the silver screen. This is what cinema's all about. Showing more than what's on the page. The whole movie is looking, and yet it is endlessly watchable. The love here is intense, and the passion palpable. It's one of the hottest movies I've ever seen. Because of the emotional drive it always has. And because it takes its precious time. And that it has an underlying epicness to it all. That's why the tale of Orpheus and Eurydice plays its part. Celine Sciamma wrote and directed the movie. And what a movie it is! She has told a great love poem through the lens. Her script doesn't take any cliched routes, and knows when to divulge tidbits at the right times. Her direction stands above it, and is masterful. This film is alive like even a lot of great films aren't. Silent scenes are scenes when you can actually talk, she says, spoken like a true filmmaker. What a fucking awesome, epic-ass movie. Kind of reminded me of Punch Drunk Love a little bit, just because of the epicness and a cinematic love story. A lot of movies just don't understand this, you know, utilizing the audiovisual experience the way that Paul Thomas Anderson did for that movie, and the way that Celine Sciamma did for this movie. It's so good, like. But I have to tell you, it's so hot. It's one of the hottest movies, but like in an emotional way, you know. Yeah. Oh God, I sound perverted. Not the sex, but the emotions, the emotional feelings of these characters. It's so fucking hot and fierce and intense, and you can feel it. See how hot in not just a sexual way, but like an emotional way, and you really just you're there with them, and you're watching them watch each other, and you're watching them and realizing you're watching these people, and it's fucking hot as shit. I fucking, you've lost me, haven't you? But I'm not, I just watch the fucking movie. So epic. I knew it was epic, like with all the cloaked faces, like the way they look at each other, and like this woman's amazing who made this movie. She's fucking epic as shit. And like, she said she wanted to make an epic love story, and she did it. And like, it's so fucking epic. And like, I knew it the moment I saw the Eloise in the gown, and it's just elevated to what should have just been a boring ass movie, and it's just so fascinating and watchable and hot. Loved it. Yeah, this quarantine's just making me a little loony. Got my home workouts. I just like I'm gonna stop. This is stupid.